Girl, Mark is going through it. Samantha's dad is an asshole. Let's just talk about it. Let's go. All right, so Mark damn near about to miss his graduation. He ain't there, right? His high school graduation, he ain't there. All his friends there, he ain't there. He is fighting Dr. Seismic, and Dr. Seismic is destroying yet another monument. And he talking about, oh, it's stolen from the earth, iron ripped from her loins. And I be trying to listen to the shit that Dr. Seismic is saying. I be like, bitch, he kind of be right though. Like he be right. At first, remember he was trying to mess up Mount Rushmore. And I'm like, yeah, go ahead, mess up the presidents. Those are depictions of racists and slave masters. Mess it up. And this time he's pissed because what y'all doing to the earth. I'm just like, I can't really be too mad at Dr. Seismic. I can't really be too mad at Dr. Seismic, girl, but we got to go about this another way, bro. So I think that this fight between Dr. Seismic and Mark lasts way too long. And not from an audience member's perspective, right? I think that I enjoyed seeing the fight, but I'm saying if I was Mark, this shit would have been over real quick, because the minute I see that your ass is using machinery to do shit, like, I don't know if that shit on his arms to blast, right? Blast his powers out. And then also he had a jetpack that he used. It would have been over in a second, bitch. I'm taking out all that machinery and you're done. Dr. Seismic talking about the earth reclaims her stolen flesh. Invincible gonna tell Cecil that the monument isn't destroyed when it clearly is. He just went up through the middle of it. Girl, move. What are you talking about? So during the graduation, we find out that Invincible's middle name is Sebastian, is giving under the sea, which is funny because that's exactly where the fuck his ass goes in this episode. I'm so annoying. I love how Mark threw his hat up high as hell. And I'm just like, girl, you might as well just tell everyone you're invincible, because this secret identity shit ain't gonna last for long, bitch. You throwing trash bags and graduation caps into the fucking stratosphere, into low orbit, girl. Like, you cannot be serious. You cannot be serious. So everybody over here talking about their summer plans, right? And Mark is over here disassociating. And he says Cecil might need him, and that's all he can really think about right now. Okay, let's talk about this Adam Eve scene, because she was helping, like she said, with the reconstruction in Chicago. And this woman got pissed at her because Adam Eve scared the other workers with her powers by reconstructing this building. And she was just like, girl, you did all that reconstructing, but I don't know if what you did was the code. And I'm trying to get this stuff together. Now, this mother here says, girl, don't even worry about that shit, because we've been trying. She tells Adam Eve, don't even worry about that shit. We've been trying to get people to come out here and fix the shit, and they never do the shit. So at least you trying to help us. Like, we trying to get our homes back. But both are legitimate concerns though. Like, Miss Mama's over here really does not know if the building is the code, and she got to go to her boss, and her boss. It's just like, that shit needs to be good if you're gonna have people living in it. It makes sense. But at the same time, these people need help. So it's, it's not like, I think obviously the woman was being a little bit asshole-ish about, what she was saying to Adam Eve. But at the same time, I do understand her sentiments. Does that make sense? You don't have to be an asshole about it. Then, especially if I'm helping somebody, it's not like I'm hurting somebody, right? Like, Samantha was trying to help. Then Samantha did this, which we're gonna talk about later. Obviously, Samantha made a playground for these people, and they got excited. The girls start playing on it, the kids start playing on it. It was a fun little moment, but it definitely affected the plot later on, right? So Mark's mom is here trying to reach out to him, but it's not really working. He's really preoccupied with Cecil, whatever Cecil wants him to do. He feels heavy guilt, and he feels like he needs to listen to Cecil, because he said half a city got destroyed when he tried to do it on his own. So yeah, Debbie's just trying to reach out, and it's just not working. He goes because Cecil calls. Now, this scene here with Kate and Rex was so funny. When he found out that she was fucking immortal. And I was like, why the hell is Kate making this face? And immediately I was like, oh God, her other self is somewhere getting piped down. And Immortal comes out and was just like, yo, are you mad? And I mean, you know, if Immortal came around saying he wanna fuck, like, I don't know what you want me to. You want me to say no to Immortal? Yeah, you got another thing coming. You either better join us in a threesome or sit your ass down, girl, because I'm not gonna pass up on the opportunity. And that's what Kate thought, girl. Okay, so Mark goes to this cursed Midnight City or whatever. He gets told by Cecil to bring in Nightboy, whatever the fuck. Nightboy gonna punch Invincible, and Invincible says that he felt that, and then Nightboy gonna get cocky and say, oh well, yeah, I have, the reason why you felt that is because I have on an exoskeleton, that's why, da da da. And Mark says, I didn't say that it hurt, I said that I felt it. And I'd like to say that some of y'all talk way too much when it's time to fight, because bitch, I would never tell Omni-Man's son that the source of my power, quote unquote, is a fucking exoskeleton. Like, I'm not telling you that shit. You're gonna have to find that shit out yourself. I'm not gonna tell you, like, here's my weakness, because all Invincible would have to do is peel that shit off of you. I'm not telling you where my power come from. You're gonna have to figure that shit out. Like, why are you talking? So Debbie goes to confront Cecil. She's like, girl, you're making Mark narrowly miss his goddamn graduation. She said, you can't just order him around. And then Cecil responds with, well, at least he follows orders. I'm like, damn, Cecil, what's going on, Cecil? What's going on? You starting to piss me. Cecil's starting to really fucking piss me off. Okay. Debbie rightfully asks him, what happens when you feel like you can't trust Invincible anymore? Like, what happens? And then Cecil gonna say that would never happen. And I'm just like, girl, yeah, right. And the fact that you did not answer her question, you said that would never happen. What happened? What will happen when you decide that you can't trust him no more? Tell me. Cecil saying, oh girl, just that's an impossibility. Da da da. You sound like you crazy. That's what you sound like. Then Debbie sees Donald, right? And reacts like the audience does. Like, girl, what the fuck is Donald is still alive? Like, I thought he was... So obviously something's going on there, and even Donald himself seems very confused. So this part was absolutely crazy, because as soon as Samantha came in here helping her mom, trying to make sure that she was good, I knew that her father would be pissed off. I knew it. He's so arrogant, ego-based, whatever. I was just like, he's not going to accept that shit, and he's going to actually feel insulted that you would dare come and help him. I already knew before I even saw the rest of the fucking episode. I was like, bitch, he's going to be pissed off. I would have not even gone back to that house after I left it the first time. Samantha in the previous season left the fucking house because her dad was a goddamn asshole, and I think she should have stuck to that shit, not speaking to this motherfucker ever again until if he get his shit together. A lot of people like that do not get their shit together. They treat people like that because they can, and unless somebody knock their ass in the head a couple times, even then, they will still victimize themselves, even though they were the violent ones, and all they're getting is a response, right? I would have, if my mom was really hurting like that, I would have met up with my mama at some place. I'm not going to that house. I would have met up with my mama at some place, put money in her account, make sure she good. I say, if she don't have an account for herself, which probably fucking not with the way that their relationship dynamic is going. If my mama ain't got no account for herself, if Samantha mama ain't got no account for herself, I would have made an account for her and put some money in there. Like, don't tell this nigga. Like, are you serious? Don't tell his ass. But she went into that house. Samantha don't need to be going to that house no more. Samantha's father come home, and he says, you people turned the Chicago corporate office of basically where he used to work or whatever into a pile of rubble. So that's why he's working at this fast food spot or whatever. And Samantha keeps trying to help this man, and he does not want it. I'm telling you, I would have been cut this man off. I would have been cut this man off. Why keep going around when he does not like your ass at all? So at first I thought that Mark took Amber to Paris, right? Just like his damn daddy. How you just like your damn daddy, but you try not to be like him? You acted just like him, but you say you don't want to be him. All right. But then I was like, okay, how did he get to Paris so fast without Amber disintegrating? You know? And then we find out that it was Las Vegas instead. I was like, okay, that makes more sense. When he left off that tower, when he flew off the tower and left her there, I was like, bitch, you just gonna let her stay? Like, you know she can't fly, right? He came back for her, but I was like, Mark, you're so annoying. Oh my God. So Cecil tells Mark that he has to marry the queen of Atlantis or whatever because Omni-Man had killed their king. And the way I would have been like, that really sucks for y'all because I'm not doing that shit. The way I would have been like, bitch, that really fucking sucks. I'm so sorry that that's your law. But I'm not doing that shit. So if y'all want to come fight, I can turn into another Omni-Man But I'm not like, what are you talking about? I'm not the one who did that shit. You better hold Omni-Man accountable and stop fucking playing with me. Cecil said that, oh, well, if you don't do it, they're going to like basically fuck up the Eastern Seaboard or some shit like that. The Eastern Coast, they're going to fuck it up. And I'm just like, well, I'll be there to make sure y'all bitches don't fuck this shit up. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, if you want another Omni-Man, y'all would have got that, like, for real. So he goes down there thinking that he has to marry the queen. He says to the queen, I can't do this. And then she was like, girl, what do you think you're down here for? You got to fight. This is a trial by combat. And I don't know how Cecil didn't know that shit. That's a big deviation, right? Like, okay, I could accept that, you know, Cecil thought that you had to marry the queen when in actuality the laws state that you have to marry someone else or marry someone else in the government or something like that. Like, I could understand that mistake. But bitch, you mean to tell me there was a whole entire chasm between what you thought the law was and what it actually is? That's a deep fucking chasm, bitch. It's trial by combat. It's not marriage. What are you talking about? Update your files. Update your intel. So yeah, Invincible has to fight this big ass monster. Now I love how this bait was used because it gives me anglerfish. You already know what T is, but the bait definitely would not have gotten me. It's crazy that Invincible saw that bait and immediately ran up, swam up to it, flew up to it, and tried to beat it up. My first thought is that, first of all, Omni-Man, if I was Invincible, this is what I would think. First of all, Omni-Man killed these motherfuckers royalty, like killed their king. And all these people are gathered around, and it's a trial by combat. I don't care how innocent the enemy looks. This bitch, I would automatically assume that this bitch is extremely powerful. I don't care how small it looked. So even if I did not put together that it was a bait, or it was bait, which I don't think I would have at all, I would not have just swam up to that bitch like it was nothing. I'm so sorry. If everybody gathered around here to watch this hoe beat my ass, obviously there's an angle here that I'm not taking into consideration. Why is Invincible so silly? Oh, girl. Okay, so Debbie is trying to sell this house, right, to this couple, and ends up being triggered by how aggressive the man was being to his partner. And it was just really ugly, the things that he was saying to her. Unnecessary, mean-spirited, abusive. And Debbie immediately clocks that, and she's like, she's not your pet. That's what she says. Obviously she's triggered, right? And it makes sense. Like, she's still dealing with the intense pain of everything that has happened. I would just like to say that black people in this show are, I don't know. I'm speaking as somebody who is black watching this shit. I'm just like, Angstrom is black. He's the villain. This guy was the aggressive ass black man in this relationship. And I feel like Amber is a placeholder for someone else. I do not think that Amber and Mark are endgame. So I'm just like, I don't know if I like how a lot of black people are being treated in this show. But either way, that's what happened. So Mark, I guess he tried to fly away or run away at first. But, Mark ends up trying to fight this thing instead of just getting away. Like, at this moment, I would have got the fuck out of there. But right after this, he throws a punch and tries to continue to fight. And he gets pummeled because, of course, like Invincible does. The missiles that Cecil sent only pissed off the monster and freed it. And it started killing people down there. And so Mark goes back to save them, even when Cecil was like, girl, they brought that shit out. They were trying to kill you. They should have thought about that shit before they had that crazy ass monster chilling with them. But he goes back because he's like, I'm trying not to be like my dad, blah, blah, blah. And he ends up beating it. So back to Samantha, because this shit pissed me off. Samantha arrives at home again to see that the food that she made for these motherfuckers, these hungry motherfuckers, is in the garbage. Just like I expected, just as I expected, her dad's being an asshole. He's like, we don't want your fake food or your fake gold. Samantha is pissed here, but still ends up trying to see things from his perspective, even as she's being abused, even as she's being just shat on by her father. She still tries to give him the benefit of the doubt and says, essentially, okay, I get it. I get why you'd be insecure about this, right? Because for years you were able to provide for your family without any issue, right? And he's like, yeah, I've been doing this since before you were alive, blah, blah, blah. But he still does not want to accept her help with anything. He said, don't help me like you helped Chicago. And he shows her, through this news article, this playground, the playground that she had built, but she built it on an unstable lot and it collapsed. Something happened. Multiple people were injured. Multiple kids were injured. And it was because of the instability of that lot that the city never chose to build there in the first place. Now, Samantha, of course, had to learn the lesson that sometimes when she wants to help, it may not always have the effect that she wants, right? She has to learn that. And I think that that's something that everyone has to learn in general in life. And I can imagine it's much more intense if you have reality warping superpowers. But it's just a lesson that she has to learn. She's lucky that nobody died, of course, but she has to learn this lesson. Her father, still in that, was being an asshole. Because there's one way to say, hey, honey, like, I'm just checking on you. I'm just making sure you're all right. I saw that somewhere, on the news, you were trying to help out these people and it didn't go the way that you wanted to. Multiple people were injured. I just want you to be careful. I want everyone to be safe. Like, it's one thing to say that, one thing to be like, be careful. And it's another thing to be like, fuck you. I won't accept your help, bitch. Look how you helping all these people. It's not like she's going out. He's treating her like she's going out her way to injure people. And I just hated it. I hated it. I would have never, ever, ever gone back to that fucking house. And her father talking about, don't come back unless you... I'm not coming back, period. I'm not coming back, period. That's not how you treat somebody who you want to return, period. And the mama, I'm slick annoyed with her ass too, because she just be standing in the background. I know that abusive, when it comes to relationship dynamics and abusive situations, I know that, I'm trying to go easy on her, but I'm like, God damn, the mama just be standing in the background. Oh, don't do this. Don't say this. Oh my God, don't do, why? Oh, move this before your father comes. Oh, girl, I'm not coming back. I'm not coming back. This next scene here was so good and so sad and so human, right? Debbie had just come home from work where she got triggered, like I said. And that fucking cupboard would not close. We all been there. We all been there. It'd be that one fucking thing. You stub your toe, your belt loop gets stuck. It'd be that one, the cupboard won't close. It'd be that one thing to set you the fuck off. You know what I mean? Just let it all out. And that was it, right? She started crying. She started destroying her kitchen and sobbing. It's just, everything just aligned at what just collapsed. At one point, like a black hole. You see what I'm saying? Everything just came together and just collapsed, and she just started crying. Then Mark came home from his bad day too, saw his mom crying, and I feel like maybe in her head, Mark kind of looked like Nolan in that moment where he came home like he just, came through a superpower battle, And mom saw that shit. She just kept crying, girl. Oh my God. It was just so sad. I think the show does a really good job of letting us feel Debbie's emotions and exactly what she's going through and how would you even survive that kind of crazy shit? All the shit from season 1 to, how you even survive that? So she's just breaking down. And Mark, I thought she was gonna just keep Mark pushed away, but I'm glad that she didn't. I'm glad that they were able to embrace, because I'm like, oh, that was so sad. That was so sad. Okay, let's just skip to the post-credit scene. Angstrom with Invincible from the other reality finally captured Invincible. I love that we get to see the woman variants of Donald and Cecil. I was like, oh, that's so cool. Look at these B.O.B. So they calling you Bob. This Bob, honey. What's wrong with the Bob? What's wrong with the Bob? She had it folded. She folded it up. She had it folded up. No, but this episode was really good. We got some really deep emotional situations, obviously from Samantha, her family, and also from Debbie and shit. So I cannot wait to see what the rest of the season holds. We off to a really good start with this season. So yeah, tell me what y'all think about everything. Please leave your comments below. Thank you so much for checking me out, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.